right, guys, now we're doing Monday's conditioning. This is for, let's see, it's going to be on your Monday, May 20th. So the warm-up there, jumping jacks. That's pretty self-explanatory. 100 jumping jacks, and then some dynamic stretching, high knees, butt kicks, high kicks, and then she's going to show you the cross lunges.
Cool. So you're just going to drop into a lunge here, and then cross. What you're going to want to do is cross your torso to the side that the leg is lunging in. So the lead leg. So crossing here, collecting, other side, crossing here, collecting. So that's cross lunge.
Good.
All right.
And then it's going to be sit-ups.
Getting up on the ground here, sitting up fully, making sure to keep that chest up, chin up, right? And then getting all the way into a sit-up.
Yep. And the next one she's going to show you is tuck-ups.
Tuck-ups, cool. So you're going to want to essentially get just in a nice neutral sitting position. You're going to want to extend outwards and then basically bringing the knees forward, tucking in. So what you want to do, and also extending your arms back. So extending your arms back, tucking in.
Yep, very similar to a V-up, just in a tucked position. And the next exercise listed is leg lifts.
Leg lifts. Cool. Leg lifts. You're gonna want to keep your back flat on the ground the whole time, and just simply raise your legs up. Nice and parallel, nice and slow. If you're having a hard time keeping your back to the ground, especially the middle of your back, you can tuck your arms, your hands slightly under your butt just to keep a little bit more stability. But again, squeezing that core down to the ground. Yeah, slow and controlled.
Yep.
Next,
Glute crunches.
glute crunches. Essentially the glute bridges. So kind of getting in that crunch position here. Arms to your sides, squeezing the glutes, raising into a bridge, holding for a couple seconds, and then slowly lowering it back down.
Fire hydrant kicks.
Fire hydrant, you're gonna get into on all fours here. And so the key here is to rotate the leg, but keeping the back and the hips as straight as possible. So on all fours here, you're gonna wanna bring the leg out and around, but trying to keep everything nice, neutral, and straight. If you can't raise your leg super high without breaking that balance, that's totally okay. Keep it low until you can raise it at least parallel while keeping your back and your hips straight forward.
And then the next one in this list is squats. We've already shown that. It's just body weight squats.
Yeah.
So just like that.
Bring it down. Cool.
Good. And then the last three would be Superman lifts.
Superman holds and then planks. Cool.
So the Superman lifts, she's going to show you.
Yeah. So it's just like the Superman, but except we're not going to alternate it. We're going to just keep it all together. Starting on the ground here. Raising your arms up, your chest up, and then it's just going to be a little bit of a more paced rhythmic movement for the lifts. Repping those out. So for whatever reps, say 10 or 20, bringing it up, lowering it back down, bring it up, lower it back down.
Yep.
For the hold, you're just going to hold it in that elevated position. So bringing it up, squeezing out the glutes, and holding. Just for a couple moments, bringing it back down, and then planks. So this is just traditional planks. You don't have to go on each side. Again, either on your forearms or on the palms of your hands, whatever is most comfortable.
Yep. And on this day, May 20th, that's 3 sets for 1 minute holds.
1 minute hold, yes. Push yourself.
All right, guys, we're here back with Josie. This is going through Tuesday's exercises. This will be Tuesday, May 14th, which is today. So maybe you've done a little bit of it, maybe you haven't. Or it's going to also be Tuesday, May 21st. The pre-workouts, she's starting here with the banded ankle rotators.
Cool. So you're just going to wrap the band basically just at the middle of your feet here. And just go ahead and sit on a surface. You can also do this on the ground if you'd like, but definitely make sure that you keep your back nice and straight, nice and tall. Elevating your leg ever so slightly. You can definitely have a little bend in the knee. You don't want to lock that out necessarily. And you're going to want to just keep a little bit of tautness on this. And essentially, you're just going to rotate the ankle. You know, maybe spell out the ABCs. Go through a little song in your head, but just rotating the ankle, making sure to do that each side. Then we'll show you the banded dead bugs with alternating leg here. So go ahead and wrap a pretty light resistance band around that surface. Getting on your back here as if you're almost doing a crunch. So you're going to want to get a neutral grip with your arms here, with your hands. Creating slight tautness, arms straight, raising those legs 90-90 degree angle here, and essentially alternating your legs here. So one's going to stay stationary, dipping it down. While you're doing this, definitely make sure to squeeze that core, bring your core to the ground here. And that's where you're gonna really feel that burn. It's really, really a lower abdominal focused mobility exercise. And then hip 90-90. So what you're gonna wanna do here is kind of get in, I would say, kind of like a hurdling stretch position. Starting off with your hips, with your legs essentially at 90, both of them. So this one as well as this one. And what you're gonna wanna do is keep your core, well, your back straight as possible. As you're moving through this movement, try not to teeter-totter as much as you can. And all you're gonna wanna do is just rotate the hips around.
Yep.
Just like that. Yeah.
Good.
And that's it for the warm-up.
Yep, and the warm-up on that day is also the bench T-spine mobility and the dead bug floor slides, but she's already shown those. So you guys should know what those are already.
Yeah.
Now she's gonna move into the military press. The warm-up is banded over and backs.
Cool. Military press, again, keep this about chest length, chest height. Putting those hands slightly wider than the shoulders here. Bringing that bar off. You can go ahead and rest it just on your chest here. Tucking those elbows in. And all you're gonna need to do is press that bar up, above, squeezing those shoulder blades. Slow control down.
And this one, Josie, they exhale as they go up, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, so demonstrate.
Exhale. And then breathe in as it comes down. Good.
Cool.
Beautiful
And then
military press.
For the warm-up for that, we're going to do banded over and back. So grabbing that light resistance band, placing your arms, very similar to how you're going to be placing your hands on the bar for the military press. Getting a little bit of tautness here. So you're gonna wanna do is keeping your arms straight the whole time, bringing that band over, and then back as far as you can, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then lowering it back down in front of you. So over the back, squeeze, bring it back down. That is the warm-up.
Now the superset, the military press with neutral grip pull-up, which we've already done,
Right?
and incline bench press.
Cool. So we just do it right here, really quickly.
So it's just the bench press like you guys have done before, but you would just set the bench like so.
Grab some dumbbells here. So with this, starting it kind of right above your shoulder blades here, and then making sure to engage that core, digging that back into the bench and pushing forward. All one synchronized movement. Make sure you lower all the way down so you can get that full extension and flexion. It's just like that.
And that's incline bench press.
Yep.
All right, guys, here's Josie again. We're on that second workout block under Tuesday, under deadlift. The warm-up is the TKE, which we've done already before, but she's going to show you the deadlift now.
Cool. All right, so go ahead and get in that athletic stance. The key with the deadlift is to essentially just push your hips back towards the wall, chest up, but it's not necessarily dipping your butt down, right? So you're not gonna wanna bend the knees, definitely not above the ankles here. You can have a slight bend, but the main focus here is just pushing your hips back towards the wall and feeling that pull in your hamstrings and your glutes as well. So getting in that athletic stance, pushing the hips back, chest up, lowering that bar, keeping that bar close to your body, right? And then bringing it back together. You can have a slight bend in the knee. That's the deadlift there. You can do it with an easy curl bar, perhaps, if it's a little easier, more convenient, or go ahead and just get on a barbell, putting some Olympic weights on the sides, just doing a weight that's pretty light to start off with. Just look at that sheet for the suggestions on the weights. And then the glute ham back extension.
On this sheet, that's G/H, so glute ham, back extension. Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna go the more traditional way to use this as opposed to the reverse hyper. So you're just gonna wanna go ahead and get in to the machine here. Right, and so you're gonna wanna be hinging at the waist, right? Dangling down, and then as you're coming up to parallel, squeezing those glutes. So dropping down, squeezing the glutes, bringing it back up, slowly lowering it back down.
And she's just coming up to parallel or straight body, not like an arch or anything.
Yep, just like that.
Beautiful.
And then last exercise on this superset here is the super long acronym, which is rear foot elevated split squat. So you're gonna wanna get a bench and try to decline it here. It's okay if you can't quite necessarily get the decline, it's just a little bit easier. If you can only have it, parallel bench, that's totally fine too. Go ahead and get those dumbbells in your hands. So what you're gonna wanna do is essentially getting in a lunging position from the bench. You wanna get that, when you dip down into the split squat, you wanna create that 90-degree angle with your leg. So, bringing the foot up here, and then just lowering down into that split squat. 90 degrees there, bringing it back up.
RFESS, rear foot elevated
Split squat.
split squat.
Yeah. Feel that burn in the quads.
Obviously, you guys, this is done on each side.
Yep.
And that's that.
Cool.
All right.
All right, this is going to be the core section of your Tuesday workout for phase 1. And so we're gonna start with the 3-way plank. So you got traditional plank, right? Just a straight, very frontal movement, and then you're just going to go on each side. So that's what I mean by 3-way. So straight on your right side, on your left side, that is 1 set. Again, you can do it on the palms of your hands or on your forearms, whatever is probably most comfortable. I like forearms, and so get on the forearms here. Shoulders right above your arms, making sure your butt is nice and level. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing that core, holding that. That's one way. On the side here, again, either up onto your palms of your hands here, or just on your forearm, extending that lower leg, stacking the other leg right on top, pushing through your forearm. You can definitely keep your hands on your hips here because what we want here is just everything to be parallel, right? And then getting up off the ground, maybe a little bit more dynamic movement, raising the arm here, but again, holding this, everything nice and straight. That's one side, and then on the other side. After that, those are the three-way planks. We've got Russian twists. So for this, I definitely like you guys to elevate your feet. You can go ahead and cross them, a little bit easier to stay stable. And essentially, I want you to remember to rotate completely. So whether that be you're just doing this with body weight, or eventually you want to add a med ball or something like that, making sure you do the full rotation here. So getting up on your butt here, starting frontal, and then twisting all the way to the side. Resetting, twisting to the side. Twisting to the side. Both sides is 1 rep again. So you can do each side, so you can give it each side, or you can do 1, 2, 1 rep. And the last one is a VF here. So you're just gonna want to lay straight, flat on the ground. And essentially you're going to be piking, hinging at the hips, attempting to touching your toes. So as you're moving up, everything is a nice fluid, symmetric movement. So everything moves at the same time. So as you're moving up, try and touch those toes as much as you can, and then lowering it back down. Nice, slow, and controlled.
Good job. Hey guys, this is the workout video, and we're gonna start with Wednesday's workouts. For each of the Wednesday workouts, there are gonna be different sets and reps depending on the week. So make sure you do check that. Right now, this is the workout, say for tomorrow, Wednesday, May 15th. And the sets and reps here will be 3 for 20, 3 sets for 30, and 3 sets for 10. But that's what I'm talking about. Just check your sheet and do each Wednesday workout according to the date. So the pre-workout is running for half a mile at 12-minute mile pace. So you'd need a treadmill for that, or just run at a pretty good jog. Dynamic stretching, high knees, butt kicks, 30 each leg. So Josie is standing here, as you see, and she's gonna take us through this Wednesday workout. The first one is box jumps. So she's gonna show us the box jumps first.
All right, so when you get set up for the box jump, you wanna get in an athletic stance. You wanna be about, I say, a couple feet behind just to get a good propel you to the box, not too close. The key is here, you wanna land softly, no hard movements, no loud movements. Really control the landing, and then just go ahead and hop off. So it's not a box jump up and then a box jump down and landing in that athletic stance down. It's just one box jump up, step down, that's 1 rep. So getting an athletic stance here, you wanna load the legs like so, and then you're going to want to propel your hips up and jump up on the box. So get here, and then we're gonna try to land as soft as you can. I would definitely advise to hit near the middle of the box, not on the edge too much, just so you have a good base. So if you need to move a little closer, that's completely okay. But loading the legs here, and then jumping up onto the box. The second exercise is just gonna be some crunches, super basic. So you're gonna get on the ground here. We'll go ahead and do a double crunch, it's a little bit more athletic. So raising the legs here, 90-degree angle. And then what you're gonna wanna do is make sure you get your shoulder blades up off the ground, chin up, head up. Don't crunch down into your chest here. You wanna keep everything very neutral, very forward moving. And you're just going to crunch up here. So knee up or chin up, feel that crunch in that lower abdomen, and then lowering it back down. So 1, 2, super basic crunches. I guess technically double crunches. And then the last one, I believe, is plank walks. So for this, you're gonna wanna get on your palms of your hands, not your forearms because we're gonna be moving. Depending on the reps, I believe it's usually 10 reps, but it could be 15. You're gonna wanna do that each side as you go, right? So getting in a good plank position, you know, keeping your core tight, your butt, your glutes squeezed together. You want your shoulders directly above your hands as much as you can, and then you're just gonna move shuffle side to side. So try to make it synchronized. So as your hand moves, your leg moves as well. So, and then trying as best as you can to not teeter-totter, but keep everything straight as you move along. Really engaging that core as you go. But yeah, that is Wednesday's conditioning.
All right, guys, here's Josie again. We are on Thursday's workouts. This is going to be for Thursday, May 16th and Thursday, May 23rd. First thing she's going to do is put you through that pre-workout, which is at the top of your sheet, starting with banded ankle lunges.
Cool. So go ahead and get a resistance band, loop it around a sturdy, stable hold. And so you're just going to loop this band right around your ankle. You're going to do this for each ankle, right? So looping it around, stepping out to just give slight resistance, nothing too crazy. Go ahead and kneel into a lunge. So what you're going to do is you want to create that resistance with the band, and then you're going to stretch and push your knee forward so that it's almost directly above your ankle. Feeling that stretch within your calves as well as your ankles. Making sure, right, that your core is engaged, locked tight, and then pushing forward a little bit deeper as you go for each set. And again, each side, we're gonna do that for each side. Then we're going to be doing
Banded lateral shuffle.
yes, banded lateral shuffle. So you're gonna get a small Versa loop or a small resistance band. Place this right above your knees, not like directly on your knees. And so what I want you guys to do is get an athletic stance, get into about a quarter squat, chest up, right? It helps for me to kind of keep my hands here. You can also keep it on your hips, but really try to remember to get into that half squat the whole time. And what you're gonna wanna do is just shuffle laterally, keeping that quarter squat, chest up, and again, each side. And then we're going to be doing banded glute bridges. So come on over here, get on the ground. And so essentially, you're just gonna be doing a bridge with this band. Again, remember to squeeze the glutes as you work your way up, not relying strictly on your back. And then you wanna do like a couple seconds hold and lower back down. Each of these movements are slow and controlled. So squeezing those glutes, activating before you go, raising into a glute bridge, squeeze, and then lowering it back down. Squeeze the glutes, glute bridge, and lower it back down. Nice and controlled. And then the last exercise for the warm-up is gonna be T-spine mobility. So you're gonna wanna grab a PVC pipe or anything you can find very similar. And so what you're gonna wanna do is get in a reverse grip, right? So palms facing you, as if you're gonna curl the bar. You're gonna wanna do it slightly, position your hands slightly wider than your shoulders. And so go ahead and get a bench. You're gonna place your forearms, the back of your upper arms on this bench. Make sure that your back is nice and flat, and you're gonna wanna dip your chest down, and then bring this PVC pipe as far back as you can. Everything's slow and controlled. This is just getting that T-spine mobility for the various squats you're gonna be doing today.
Good. And just so you guys know, T-spine is thoracic spine. Go back where you were, Josie.
Oh, yeah.
And that means basically, for you guys, just an easy reference up in here on your body. So that's why she's pressing her chest down towards the floor. Awesome.
Just like that. And then the last T-spine mobility will just be dead bugs dead bug.
Let's see how it's listed.
Yeah.
It's listed as dead bug floor slides.
Floor slides. Yes, dead bug floor slides.
And 2 times 12.
Yes. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and bring your feet up, your legs up in that 90-degree angle. So go ahead and start kind of in an L formation with your arms. Everything completely touching the ground. You wanna pull your core in tight towards the ground this whole time. And then everything slow and controlled. You're just going to slide your arms above your head. Try to touch your hands if you can, all while not lifting your arms up off the ground. And then bringing it back into that L field goal type positioning with your arms. And so one of these, right, starting from this positioning above the head, bringing it back down, is 1 rep.
Yep. Good job. So that's the warm up.
Yep.
Now we're going to go into that first section under the word Thursday's exercises. And she's going to take you through these supersets. And supersets just simply means you're going to do each of the exercises without any rest in between before you repeat.
Right. So the first core exercise is going to be back squat. We're going to pair that for the warm-up sets. There's some warm-up sets listed in your training cards here. You're going to pair that with some TKEs just to warm up your quadriceps, get a little loose, help out with the knees. So for back squat, again, you're kind of wanting it to be about chest level, so make sure you adjust your rings here. And then what you want to do is go ahead and get up under the bar. If you want to come a little closer.
Okay.
I like to do about, from the middle of the bar here, about a thumb's length away as far as where I'm going to be putting my hands. It'll look a little bit differently when I get up under the bar, but about maybe, a palm away from that middle. And then you're going to get up under the bar, right? You're going to want to place it kind of on the square of your back and or on the top, just resting right on top of your shoulder blades, making sure to tuck the elbows in. We don't want elbows out like this, you'll fall forward, right? So tucking the elbows in, bringing the bar off. And so essentially what you're going to do is push your hips back and drop the butt, making sure your chest is up the whole time and slow and controlled, right? What you're gonna also wanna think about too is that you want to inhale as you're going down, especially when it starts getting heavier, then exhale on the way up. So
inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale as you push up.
And also something to remember is trying to get as much depth as you can, at least hitting that 90-degree angle. You can go a little lower, not super important, but try to at least hit the 90-degree angle with your legs here. So dropping it down.
So as she's right there, you can see, if I get under this bar, her knee joint is the 90-degree angle that she's talking about. Yep, beautiful.
And bring it back up. Go, cool.
Yep.
So, like I said, to pair it with the warm-ups, we're gonna do some banded TKEs. So grab a resistance band, loop it around a sturdy surface there, and we're gonna wanna place the band behind the knee, again, slightly above. You never wanna place anything at the joint directly. And so making it a little taut, keeping the other leg nice and stable. And so what I like to do is start with my foot kind of on the ball of the ball of my foot, and then bringing it down. So in this position, right, it's already taut. The band is kind of almost pulling me forward, right? So resist, making sure you got that resistance, and then you're just going to simply lower your heel, and as you do this, squeezing your quads, right? And then slowly bringing it back up. So lowering the heel, squeezing the quads, and then bringing it back up. So that's TKEs. Make sure you do that each side. And so as far as when we get into our working sets, right? So that's just warm up. You're gonna go ahead with a set of back squat here, and then you're going to jump into glute ham reverse hypers. Yep, so we can move on to the glute ham machine really quick.
Okay, I'm coming.
Some of you guys have already experienced this. It's definitely a little uncomfortable. Just make sure that you adjust where you're going to be holding on to so that you can definitely reach it. And you want to make sure that where your legs are hanging down is just right at the crease of your hips, right? So getting up on top of this, holding on to the sides, or hopefully there's something like this at the gym that you guys have at home where you can hold on to. So holding on to the sides here, and as you can see, my feet are completely dangling down, right? And then what you wanna do is raise your legs, squeezing those glutes, and you don't need to go above essentially like 90 degrees, right? So squeezing the glutes, raising the legs up, keeping it nice and parallel, and then lowering it back down. Everything nice and controlled. You don't wanna go super high, hyperextend. I know you guys are super flexible, but you only need to stop right at parallel. Right there, and then lowering it back down. Cool. And then the last exercise to superset with the back squat is going to just be dumbbell military press. So grab a set of dumbbells. I gave some suggestions as far as super simple, light, heavy, medium, whatever it may call for that day. Try to use your best judgment. And so you wanna grab those dumbbells, get in a nice and athletic stance. You're gonna wanna start with the dumbbells with your palms facing outwards, kind of resting at your shoulders here. Chest up, keeping that core tight. And you're just gonna wanna press the dumbbells overhead, and then you wanna squeeze those shoulder blades in the back here, right? And then slowly lowering it back down. Make sure you lower back down fully so you can get the full extension here. Press, lower back down.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, for this next core of a set of exercises, we're gonna be doing bench press, and then I'll show you a quick warm up for that, and then we'll get into a superset. So for bench press, what you're gonna wanna do is put the bar pretty much directly above your head. So kind of laying, you know, from your nose to your forehead here. You're gonna be moving the bar further away from your head as you're going through this. But remember, 5 points of contact, both feet, your lower back, your neck, and your head at all times. If you're having a little bit of back problems, you can't reach the ground, I can suggest to putting your feet up on the bench, possibly, depending on your balance as well, super back problems, putting your feet up completely on the bench here, just remembering to engage that core and bring that stomach down into the bench. But if you're able, hopefully, just putting these feet on the ground, you're going to want to put your feet here, or your hands, palms facing up, and again, kind of that thumb's length away from the middle, whatever is most comfortable. It's pretty much just your hands a little bit outside of your shoulders here. So you're gonna go ahead and lift that bar up, and what you're gonna wanna do is just lower the bar to your chest. So nice, slow, and controlled to the chest, and bring it back up. So that's a basic bench press. Definitely when you start getting into those medium, heavier loads, have a spotter if you can. With all of these, I definitely suggest to have a buddy with you, especially the back squat, anything like that. We've showed you guys how to spot, it's super important. And then for a warm up with the bench press, you're gonna do banded face pulls. So go ahead and loop a pretty light resistance band from a high point, however you can. And so what you're gonna wanna do with this is put your hands basically kind of shoulder apart right here, palms facing down essentially, getting in that athletic stance, and you're essentially going to want to pull that band to your face while squeezing those shoulder blades, right? So kind of crunching your arms to your face and then focusing on those shoulder blade squeeze on the back. Hold it for a couple seconds and then extend it back out. So just like that. That's the
what is that one called?
Banded face pulls.
Okay, perfect.
That's the warm up for the back squat or for the bench press.
Okay.
And then getting into the working sets, right? So you're gonna hit a set of bench press, and then we're going to go into dumbbell lateral lunge, I believe, or one of the two.
Banded pull downs?
Banded pull downs, okay, cool.
Okay.
So we'll do that first, and then we'll do the dumbbell lateral lunge. So going back to the band here, you're going to want to put your hands in a neutral grip, right? So palms facing each other. And the key here is you want to try to keep your arms as straight as possible. So as you're bringing it down, again, you're going to want to squeeze those shoulder blades in the back, but athletic stance here, core tight, bringing that band down, all the way down and squeezing those triceps especially and those shoulder blades together. So nice, slow, and controlled.
Here are Josie's shoulder blades. I think you guys would know that, but here are triceps.
Yeah.
Those muscles on the back of the arms.
Just like that. So that is banded pulled down.
Yep.
And then dumbbell lateral lunge here. So grab a dumbbell. So what you're gonna wanna do here is keep it at chest level. You can hold it like this if it's easier, or up like this, kind of resembling a front squat, keeping it at that chest level. And so you're going to lunge to the side. And then the key here is to hinge at the waist and almost just go into like a quarter squat, right? So you're not gonna wanna, you don't wanna bend your knee above your feet at all. You know, it's gonna make your knees a little out of whack. So you're just basically sitting down into the lunge. So side lunge, bending at the hips here, right? Hinging, dropping that butt back, and then collecting it all together. So we'll do the other side. So lunge to the side, right? That quarter squat right here, chest up the whole time, and then gathering. Stay.
All right, guys, here's Josie again.
Cool.
This is gonna be on what days?
So Thursday, May 16th and May 23rd.
Beautiful.
So same workout, little bit different on the sets and rep schemes. So just make sure to pay attention to the percentages and the reps that I put on the training template. But yeah, so we're into the last working set of the workout, and basically it's just a core circuit. So we're gonna do alternating Supermans, hanging leg raises, and banded twists. So what we're gonna wanna do is, we'll start with the Supermans. So you're gonna wanna go ahead, lay down on the ground. Oh. All right. Putting your arms kind of in that L formation here, right? And so what you're gonna wanna do, actually, yeah, we're gonna Superman them out, yes.
Okay.
So kind of like you're flying, arms straight out in front of you. And so the key here is, as you're raising your arms and your legs, to squeeze those glutes and try to keep your chest up as you come down. You can bring the chest down when you're finished with the rep, but elevating that chest as much as you can up off the ground, so you're really creating that kind of slight hinging motion with your back. So you're gonna wanna do opposite arm, opposite leg. So, you know, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg, and you're just going to want to elevate up off the ground. So you can keep whatever arm that's not elevating on the ground, but elevating that opposite arm and leg. So raising up off the ground here, pointing, making sure that your feet are dorsiflexed, pointed towards the back here, arms straight out, chest up, you know, elevating, squeezing those glutes, and then lowering it back down. So we'll do it on the other side. Squeezing those glutes, chest up, and then lowering it back down. So there's the alternating Supermans. For whatever reps that I put, make sure that you're doing it for each side. Then we can get into the hanging leg raise. We'll do two different variations here. Hopefully, we really encourage you guys to do this version. You know, building that shoulder arm strength as well as the core. So go ahead, hopping up on some sort of pull-up machine, most likely. And then, so you can also either do leg raises, so just complete leg lifts, or kind of like a tuck up, bringing those knees up to your chest if you can't quite do the leg raise. So hopping up on here. The key is to do nice and slow. If you start going a little fast, that's when you're gonna start moving a lot, not keeping your ground. So raising your legs as hard as you can.
Good job.
All right, and then the second one is going to be variation, if you can't quite do that, is raising those knees to the chest. So hanging here, and then knees kind of just to your stomach, actually.
Yeah.
Cool. And then if you guys don't have a machine like that, we can go ahead and go to, a lot of gyms commonly have this leg raise machine here. Slightly easier. So go ahead and get up onto the machine. The forearms are resting on the pads here, and it's essentially the same thing. Either leg lift or knee raises here.
Perfect.
Cool. And then the last one out of this core circuit here is banded twists. And so you're gonna wanna go ahead and grab a band. I would definitely advise to keep it light at first. And so this is going to be performed on each side. The key here is you don't want to completely move your hips with the band. You want to keep your hips stationary, facing forward, really just twisting at the core and kind of leading with your chest, right? Also, keeping your arms as straight as possible. So you want to step back a little bit so that you can have your arms straight while this is still parallel, right? So getting a little bit of tautness here, gathering your hands together, and then you're just going to twist at the core here, and then bringing it together. So trying as best as you can to keep those hips stationary and just really twisting at the core. And again, it's going to be each side.
All right, guys, here's Josie again. We're now on the Friday workouts, which would be Friday, May 17th and Friday, May 24th. The pre-workout at the top says do some biking for 10 minutes, just moderate intensity, and then some dynamic stretching like arm circles, leg circles. You guys know what to do. Just move your arms, move your shoulders, move your hips, move your legs, going in circles, just warming up your shoulders and your hips. And then that first one is squats, lunges, and calf raises. And so Josie will show you each of those. And just pay attention to which day it is for the sets and reps.
All right, for this first phase, we're just going to do body weight for these exercises that look very similar to maybe back squat or front squat or anything like that, but it's just body weight, right? So really working on that form in this instance, making sure everything is right and tight, hitting all the reps. So just for a body squat, right, athletic stance here, chest up, core tight, you're just gonna drop the butt down, right? So dropping it down, and then bringing it back up. Just some squats here. And then the second thing is going to be lunges. Cool. So you can either do these stationary or walking. I definitely highly encourage doing some walking lunges, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more sport specific. But essentially, we're gonna get into a lunge, knee, legs, knee at a 90-degree angle here, making sure that your knees are not reaching over your toes there. Trying to keep your guys' knees as best shape as possible. So going ahead and stepping out into a lunge, dropping all the way down, collecting yourself, and then alternating. Collecting yourself.
So basically her back knee's just tapping, right? She's not dumping her weight into the knee. It's just tapping down. Yeah. And you see that 90-degree angle she talked about in that front leg as she steps. Beautiful.
Cool. Lunges, and then push-ups, I believe.
I think so.
Cool. So if it's just a push-up, calf raises.
Calf raises.
Right.
That's the
Calf
next push-ups
raises.
on the next one.
So with this, I would definitely try to get into a slightly elevated surface. Doesn't have to be anything special. Anywhere you can find around the gym here. But what you want to do is step up on that surface and then putting a lot of weight on the balls of your feet here. And so the key is you want to be able to dip down your heels below that elevated surface and then bringing them back up, getting that squeeze. So dipping down, we'll do one leg at a time. So dropping that heel and then pushing up, putting that weight through the balls of your heels. So dropping down and then pushing up. So the calf raises each side,
Yep.
each leg, and then we're getting to that next working set,
Here go the push-ups. Push-ups, pull-ups, and tricep dips.
Cool. So for push-ups, let's do a regular push-up. Let's do a male push-up. But again, if you cannot do it, I'll show you different variation for a little bit easier push-up. But making sure that your shoulders are essentially just right above your hands and keeping that butt down, keeping everything straight, parallel, and dipping down as much as you can. Definitely at least making sure, basically chest to the ground, chest to the ground.
Yes.
Cool. So, all right.
There we go.
Keeping everything parallel here, and you're gonna want to lower it, chest to the ground, bring it back up.
Good. And we won't call it a girl push-up. We'll just call it a
Right.
modified push-up.
Modified push-up. Yes. Modified push-up. Modified push-ups here, just on your knees. You can definitely cross your legs if you want a little bit more stability here. But again, shoulders over the hands, bringing that chest to the ground. And again, you don't want to lay down on the ground, you just want to tap it, right?
Beautiful.
Cool. We'll go ahead and do tricep dips really quick.
Okay.
So with this, grab a bench is probably the easiest. You're gonna wanna hold on to the bench. Your arms are gonna be behind you, extending those legs out. And then essentially, you're going to want to dip your body down and creating basically like a 90-degree angle with your elbows here. So kind of up on your heels here, dipping the body down, and then bring it back up. Squeezing those triceps as you come up. Cool. And then a pull-up. So I did neutral grip. I find that it's a little bit easier. So neutral grip, remember, is palms facing inward. So there's different variations of this if you can. If you have a traditional pull-up bar, if you can do a couple reps just with your body weight, and then those last bit are a little bit hard, get a spotter, get somebody to hold up your feet and give you a little bit of momentum up with that. You can also try to do a resistance band here if you have them looped across and or looped around the top, and then you're just going to be placing your knee inside the resistance band, trying to get a little bit more help with the pull-up there. And then if you don't have either of those, I would suggest most likely your gym has like an assisted pull-up machine where it gives a little bit of resistance, so essentially setting it so you're going to want to do probably about at least half of your body weight when you're adjusting the weight there. Maybe only a quarter if you're feeling a little strong, but don't do it so that you're just bouncing right up, right? That your full body weight, at least half, that's the max. And then dipping down lower, the stronger you guys get. But you just want to get up on here. Again, neutral grip. Making sure that you extend fully as you're lowering down and then squeezing up.
Good job.
All right.
All right, guys, we're moving into phase 2, but this is Monday's workout. This one starts Monday, May 27th. And for the pre-workout, you've got jumping jacks, dynamic stretches again, and those cross lunges, kind of similar to what we've done before. And then the first workout set is sit-ups with dumbbells. So obviously we've already shown you a sit-up, but now you're just gonna add some weight and add dumbbell.
Cool. So, go ahead, lay flat on the ground here. Grip the dumbbell, kind of like you would, like I showed you guys, kind of a front squat here. And then just go ahead and raise up, tuck in with the sit-up.
Yep. So that's sit-ups with dumbbells. The next one is straddle ups with exercise ball.
Cool. So, go ahead and wrap that exercise ball with your legs here, extending those arms above your head, and then you're gonna wanna straddle up, exchange the ball, grab it, bring it back down, putting the exercise ball back between your legs.
Good. And then the next one is just leg lifts with the medicine ball.
Cool.
So we've done leg lifts. You're just gonna add the medicine ball
Awesome.
with it.
So you're gonna, again, wanna extend your arms above your head here, and, whoops. Wait, leg lifts, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, just kidding. Go ahead and just keep that medicine ball just placed right above your chest here. And then what you're gonna wanna do is raise your legs up and then reach for your toes with the medicine ball.
There you go. So we just added the medicine ball in our leg lifts. Beautiful.
Cool.
The second one is glute crunches with barbell.
Yeah. So with this, I can just grab this really quick.
Okay.
Go ahead and easy curl is probably the easiest for you guys. Alright. Get up on the ground just like in the crunch position, placing the barbell right above your hips. Squeezing the glutes together, pushing your glutes up, squeezing, and bring it back down.
So a lot of these movements are the same. We're just adding a little bit of weight for some resistance.
Yep.
Yep. The next one after that, Josie, is fire hydrant kicks with band.
Right. Cool. Let me grab the band really quick.
Okay, I'll just come with you.
Cool. Small band. So you're gonna wanna put this band right above your knees, like we did for the lateral walks, for the deep bridges. Get on all fours, and essentially it's just a fire hydrant, just with the band. Create a little bit more resistance. So bringing it out, tucking it back in. Just like that.
Yep. And then the next one is squats with the barbell.
Cool.
And that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You're just gonna do a squat with the barbell on your back.
Yep.
Yep. And then the next one is Superman lifts, Superman holds, and planks, which is just repeats.
Yeah.
So you guys got the Monday. All right, guys, we're back here with Josie, and now we're on Tuesday's workouts. This first Tuesday is gonna be May 28th. We've got a pre-workout, so she's gonna show you the weighted, seated toe raises first.
Yeah. So just gonna go ahead and take a seat on a bench. What you're gonna wanna do is get a plate here, one that you can lift up just with your toes. So if it's gotta be a 5-pounder or a 2.5, it's gotta be that, but I want a little bit of resistance instead of just doing some toe raises here. So all you're going to do, it's a very simple movement. You're just gonna go ahead and raise your toes here. So what's really helping is just a lot of ankle, depending on the weight, you might feel a little bit of pull in your calves, but yeah, just a little bit of ankle mobility there. Then we're gonna get into the banded hip abductors. So maybe you've heard this referred to as maybe like clamshells, something like that, but band in the exact same spot as we always do when we put it around our legs here, right above the knees. You're gonna wanna get on your side here. Go ahead and lay flat on the ground. You can put your hand behind your head maybe for a little bit of stability. And so all you're gonna wanna do, it's a very simple movement here. The main focus is the glutes, right? As well as the hips, but squeezing those glutes and then raising the top leg as much as you can while keeping your form, right? So squeezing those glutes together, raising that, and what you're really gonna feel is just a burn right in your glutes here and just right directly above your hips. This really shouldn't be a quad dominant movement or anything like that. If you're doing that, you're doing it slightly wrong, but making sure also that your hips are parallel with the ground, not slide backward or forward, nice and parallel, and then just clamshelling it. It's not a big dramatic movement, but you'll feel it, trust me.
And also, you gotta do that on both sides.
Yes. And then,
PVC pipe Superman.
PVC pipe Superman. So this is essentially a Superman. We're kind of combining that T-spine mobility a little bit with this too. So we're gonna grab that PVC pipe, get in the Superman position here. All right. So what you're gonna wanna do is elevate, get in that Superman, and then you're gonna wanna bring the PVC pipe up and back behind your head. So laying down here, elevating up, Superman, bringing that right below on the back of your neck here, pushing it up and lowering. Bring it up and lowering.
Good. That's the pre-workout for
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
So for the first working set, we're gonna be doing bench press. Already showed that to you guys. Then we're gonna do the banded pull downs, right? So that's that band from that elevated position with your hand, neutral grip, straight arm, pulling it all the way down, banded pull downs. And then the new one is going to be the dumbbell Cuban press. So grab a couple of dumbbells here. This is definitely a little bit more complicated movement, but you guys got it. So what you're gonna wanna do is switch your hands so that your palms are facing backwards here. And basically, there's a couple different steps to this. So definitely resembles some movements we're gonna be doing, like say in the snatch. You'll learn that a little later, but what you're gonna do is hinge at the elbows here, upright. You're gonna wanna flip it, so your palms are facing forward, and then just press it above head. Bring it back down, rotate, and then lower it down. So the Cuban press. All right, before I get into the next set of exercises with the Cuban press, make sure that it's a manageable weight. I would definitely err on the side of lighter. So, especially so you can definitely work on the form of being able to get into this position, rotate it outwards, and then press overhead, all while managing the weight. Okay, so the next set of exercises here, the main core exercise is going to be the split squat, barbell split squat. So either a traditional barbell here, or if you can get under maybe an easy curl bar. So you're just gonna wanna get up under it, very similar to a back squat. Elbows tucked in, right? And so the goal here is just to basically lunge it out. So getting in a good, nice athletic stance, making sure you have enough room to actually lunge forward here. And then getting in that lunging position, and then collecting.
So that's the split squat.
Split squat.
Superset with single leg glute bridge.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to a bench here, next two exercises. So with this one, what you're gonna wanna do is basically rest on the top of your back, kind of your back shoulder blades on the bench, and it's essentially just exactly like a glute bridge that you've done on the ground, but a little bit more athletic movement. So you wanna get up, again, kind of back on your shoulder blades, resting up on here. To start off with, you can keep your hips dipped, single leg, right? So with the leg that you're gonna be focusing on, you want it to be pointed straight out, dorsiflexed, nice and parallel. And then all you're gonna essentially do is extend, push those hips up, squeeze those glutes, dorsiflex that foot, and then dip back down.
Gotta do it one more time.
So bringing it back up, and then dip back down. Bring it up, dip back down.
Perfect.
And then the glute bar lift, yes. Cool. So you're gonna be back on your shoulder blades on the bench, just like the single leg glute bridges. Hinging at the waist here, dipping down. This barbell's right on your hips here. Putting a lot of the weight in your heels. And then all you're gonna do is pushing the bar up, getting nice and parallel, squeezing those glutes, and then dipping it back down. So the main movement right here is just your hips, right? We're not arching the back, we're not curling it or anything like that. It's all in the hips and the glutes.
Yep. So that's the glute bar lift.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, now we're on that third exercise group for Tuesday, starting with plank, 3 ways. She's already shown you that. Straight ahead, on the right arm or forearm, on the left arm or forearm. Superset with OHMB sit-ups.
All right, overhead med ball sit-ups. Hopefully you guys will know that by the end. So we're gonna get in a crunching position here. You got your med ball. What you're gonna wanna do is extend your arms with this from the get-go, from the starting position. And you're just gonna go ahead and sit up with it. Trying to keep your arms straight the whole time. Pushing that ball to the ceiling. Overhead med ball sit-ups.
Supersetted with lying windshield wipers.
Lying windshield wipers, yes. So back straight on the ground here, legs straight. The key here is to keep it nice, slow, and controlled. Try not to let your feet drop to either side. Slowly controlling it down, tapping, and then bringing it back up. So again, if it's a little bit difficult with your back, you can put your hands under your butt slightly, Really encourage you to try to do without. So you can start and go with the just regular leg lift position here, and you're just gonna wanna windshield wiper to one side as far as you can, and then bring it slowly back up to another side, and bring it back up.
All right, so we're setting up here, but I just wanted to go and say that Wednesday is the same. You've got the running, we've increased the distance a little bit. We've got dynamic stretching, high knees, and butt kicks. That's your Wednesday. We've got those box jumps, crunches, and planks. That is exactly the same as what we did before in the phase 1 Wednesday group. On Thursday, which looks like the first Thursday with this phase is going to be Thursday, May 30th. We've got that pre-workout, weighted seated toe raises. You guys have done that before. Banded hip abductors, you've done that before. And then the PVC pipe Supermans, where you raise the pipe up and take it behind your head. Now we're on this first little grouping, dumbbell bench press.
Cool. So it's just like bench press, just with dumbbells essentially.
Yep.
All right. So you're laying flat on the bench here, right? Not decline, incline, just flat on the bench. Bringing those dumbbells to your chest here, right above your shoulder blades. Squeezing, pushing through to the ceiling. Make sure you're lowering these dumbbells all the way down. All the way down. Bringing that back up.
Good.
Then, to superset that, we've got some dumbbell flies. This is typically a lighter dumbbell. You're going to be in the same exact position as this dumbbell bench press. What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to keep your hands in a neutral grip, right? So palms facing forward. And I can kind of demonstrate this here. So you can start off with the dumbbells close together. You're going to want to slowly lower it to your sides. You can definitely bend your elbows slightly, right? But you're going to start feeling it on the chest. And then bring it back down together. Slowly lowering it. You don't want to lower it too far, right? So like lower than parallel. Just hit parallel. Then bring it back together. So those are dumbbell flies. And then the third one is going to be dumbbell rows. So I'm going to stick with these fives here. Essentially, what you're going to want to do, bent over row. So dumbbell bent over row. Both dumbbells in hand. Athletic stance, you're going to want to bend over, keep your back straight, but essentially just push the hips back, right? So in this position here.
That looks a lot like your deadlift.
Yes, exactly. And then all you're going to do is row the dumbbells up to your stomach, right here. Squeezing those shoulder blades in the back, and then slowly lowering it. So right here, getting that nice squeeze, and lowering these.
Good.
All
And then
right.
that next grouping is OHRFESS.
Cool. Overhead rear foot elevated split squat. This is a very athletic movement, a little bit advanced, but I know you guys can do this. So essentially you're going to want to put your dumbbell in the same hand, or the same hand as the leg that's squatting. So that's lunging out, right? So the lead leg. So say I'm going to be working on my right leg, extending that out. I'm going to put the dumbbell in your right hand here. So elevating that foot slightly, getting in that lunging position here. What you're going to want to do is keep that dumbbell overhead, making sure that the hips are parallel here, engaging that core, right? And then slightly bringing that dumbbell back behind your back. You don't want to fall forward and crunch. You want to be out to the side or anything. Bringing that dumbbell back here, and you're just dipping down into a split squat. Raising it up.
Overhead, rear foot elevated split squat.
Yep.
So if you guys notice on this, she's done some little L, M, or M/H, and that's under the percentage section. So that means light, medium, or
Heavy.
medium to heavy.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep, exactly. Use your best judgment. Definitely push yourselves though.
Yep, and then supersetted with DB RDL.
RDL, yep. So, grab some dumbbells here. Essentially, it's just an RDL, just with your dumbbells. Again, making sure that you're hinging at the hips, pushing your hips back towards the wall. You can have a slight bend, not too much, keeping the weight close to your body. Chest up. So pushing those hips back there. Feel it nice in your hamstrings. Collecting it together here.
Dumbbell
RDL.
RDL. And then
Cool.
superset that with dumbbell swing.
Dumbbell swings. Okay, so dumbbell swings, or possibly if you have kettlebells, these are a little bit easier with that top handle, but either way, either of those. So go ahead and gripping this dumbbell, you're just gonna hold it, cupping it, supinated here. You're gonna get an athletic stance. And the key here, again, is to hinge at the hips and activate the glutes, right? So we're gonna dip down into basically kind of like a quarter squat with a dumbbell hanging between your legs. And this is gonna be a more fluid movement as you get through the reps, but just to start off, then you're going to push up, push your hips through, raise that dumbbell. You only need to really go about parallel, and then swinging it back down to that quarter squat. So hinging it through, jumping down, hinge through. Yep, just like that.
Good. And under this it has HAP.
Heavy as possible.
Okay.
Heavy as possible, HAP.
Okay. And then we've got dead bug,
Dead bug,
which
just
we've
regular dead bug.
done before.
Mhm.
Supersetted with banded chops.
Banded chops, yes. So this is a new thing here. So you're gonna wanna put this band in an elevated position. Go ahead and get into a lunge. And so the way that you want to move the band is going to be over the leg that's lunged, right? So it's probably gonna be a little bit elevated, a little bit more. But essentially, you wanna keep your hips forward and only twisting at the torso here. So bringing it down. Bringing this down. And
There we go.
twisting. Yeah,
So banded chops.
banded chops. Just like that.
Superset with alternated V-ups.
Yes. You wanna do that one?
Yep.
Yep, cool.
I don't think we've done alternating yet, have
No,
we?
yeah, not
Okay.
really. All right. Laying flat on the ground, arms raised above your head here, and again, fluid movement, legs and arms at the same time, alternating. So right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. And we're gonna bring it all, bring this all the way up. Go ahead and tap. Say with the other one.
Yep.
Just like that.
Awesome. All right, so now we're on Friday phase 2. You'll notice that the pre-workout has increased by minutes. So biking 15 minutes, moderate to high intensity, then that dynamic stretching, arm circles, leg circles. And then we've got just added some dumbbells to our regular stuff. So Josie's gonna show you where to hold the dumbbells when you're doing the squats and the lunges.
Cool. So it's just gonna be in that front squat type positioning with your hands here, right at your chest. Athletic stance here, dropping it down, chest up always, right? And then bringing it back up. For the lunges, it's the same positioning, right? So lunging, collecting.
Yep. And then you just do the calf raises, just holding the dumbbells
Mhm.
down by your sides.
Come over here. Just like this. Hold that dumbbell on the leg that you're going to be doing calf raise on. Dipping down. And then bring it back up.
Good. And then you guys obviously know push-ups, pull-ups, and tricep dips.